right side. Stock down the middle. Underneath the below. And dunk. Oh, baby, what a play by Stockton.
It's like watching an artist work, John Stockton.
What a pass, John Stockton.
Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most entertaining and underrated point guards of all time, John Stockton. Born March 26, 1962 from Spokane, Washington. As a kid growing up, John loved to play basketball. As he got older, he grew to about 6'1.5", and once he got to high school, which he went to Gonzalo Preparatory High School, and had a solid basketball career also. And with his amazing basketball career at Gonzalo Prep, he would also receive an offer from his hometown team, the Gonzalo Bulldogs. And I forgot to mention, he had a great high school career. Averaged over 23 points in a career, recorded 264 steals, and 295 assists and 800 total points. His attitude from success in high school translated over to college. John's college career was phenomenal from 1980 to 1984. John scored 1,340 points and also dished out 554 assists. The 1983-84 season, John's senior season, he led the West Coast Conference with 20 points, 201 assists, and 109 steals and was named Most Valuable Player of that season. After the 1984 season and senior season, he declared for the NBA draft. Going into the draft, John was not expected to go high first round or high at all. Draft night, when John selected by the Utah Jazz, at first he thought they were booing him, but they was actually saying who because they never heard of John before. Like I said, John was taken in the first round, 16 overall pick by the Utah Jazz. He may be a part of arguably the best draft class ever that included Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, and some scrawny kid from North Carolina named Michael Jordan. Going to John's rookie season, John sat behind NBA veteran Ricky Green, but would still manage to play 18.2 minutes, average 5.6 points per game, and 5.1 assists per game. Now we're skipping a couple of years to 1988. This was John's coming out party. He averaged for the regular season 14 points per game, 13.8 assists per game, and 1.2 steals per game. But that's just the regular season. In the playoffs, the second round against the defending champs with Los Angeles Lakers, most arguably the best backcourt players to ever play, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon. But John was ready to show what he was made of. He was ready for the big stage. The first two games, John averaged his usual points, 14 points, and they even stole another series and had the series 2-1. And eventually, the Lakers would be the Lakers and eventually again tie the series back. But in Game 5, that's when the world finally knew who John Stockton really was. John Stockton went off for 23 points and 24 assists, and you know who also had 24 assists in the game? The man he was playing against, Magic Johnson. Him and Magic are the only two players to ever have 24 assists in one single playoff game. Even though they lost, John still showed a lot of heart and grit and fight of his young career. Now it's time to jump to the 90s, where in John's career he was selected in 1992 to the Dream Team. 1994-95 NBA season, John was selected the first team All-NBA and would surpass Magic Johnson as the all-time leader of assist holders. And now that John has earned his respect and awards, he still was not satisfied with the all-day championship. He knew that was the next mission. The Utah Jazz had already reached the conference finals 5 out of the 7-year spans in the 90s. But in 1997, they finally made it, getting past the Houston Rockets. Now would this be the time that his hard work finally pays off? But there was only one problem. He was facing arguably the best, not arguably, but this is the best team of the 90s and the best player of the 90s, Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, after just coming back like at least I think 2 or 3 years prior. Long story short, John did not play bad. The team did not play bad. They just couldn't beat the almighty and dominant 1990s team, Chicago Bulls. They fell short in the 6-game series. And let's just say history repeats itself as the Bulls are going to win next year against the Jazz, and they'll fall short. And I know you guys all remember this shot by MJ. 1998 NBA Finals. John knew he was already 36. He was not going back to the final. So let's skip a couple years to the 2000s, early 2000s. So on April 30th, 2003, after a playoff game loss to Sacramento, John had officially announced his retirement. In an interview after the announcer asked him was he retiring, how did he feel about not winning a championship championship. He said, I quote, "A lot of this is about the journey," he said. "I'm sure there are a lot of people that have won championship who hasn't had to work very hard at it, who hasn't had to work very hard and haven't done it. And yet I feel a lot of rewarded out of the effort that it took to complete it." He also averaged 14 points assists per game or in a career, and also had 1,164 assists in a season. And he owns the record that he also lead the league in 9 consecutive seasons as an assist leader. Here is in the career stat, and still 3,265 all-time leader, one of the all-time leaders, and average almost 10.5 assists, tied third most for the assists in regular season with 28. Played 1,504 games, 13.1 points per game. In 2009, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
En la ciencia.